All right, so we've got some figures on how Rise of Skywalker is doing in the theaters. And when you look at how it compares to the other movies, it's not very good. So I want to go over some of this stuff and some interesting things that I've found. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Of course, there's always articles like this, really great journalism that pulls you in, makes you really want to just sit down and respect the journalist, the author of the writer. I mean, how can you not read the title of this article and really just say, wow, that is some high quality journalism. I'm really glad that journalists exist. So here's the big one, which is kind of crazy, and we'll see if it actually happens because, of course, not all of the receipts are in yet. But Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker opening weekend tracking for up to $195 million box office. And that might help them hit that 400 million. I think it was 400 to 450 million for opening weekend globally for Star Wars. Here's the thing, though. The movie's a flop in China. Big flop. They've never really cared for Disney Star Wars over there. I don't even know they've ever really cared for Star Wars in general over there. Who knows? But Disney is desperate for that communist mouse money, which I find kind of funny. In fact, that whole kiss between the two girls that the media is celebrating, like, oh my God, it's such a great scene that they can easily just cut out for China. That they can, they're going to remove that scene for China. So real brave of them, right? Right? I mean, that really deserves that praise and applause. It's kind of hypocritical because they're just going to edit it out. They're really just using it as a prop to get woke media coverage. Oh my God, it's groundbreaking. It's the first girl kiss in Star Wars ever. But we're just going to edit it out when we put it in countries that don't like that stuff. So we can still make money. Like, you know, and they're not going to, they don't even care. Not even a big deal. Just shows you how hypocritical all of these people are. So anyway, how is the movie doing? Well, this is what's interesting. So let me go over this paragraph here. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is expected to open between 190 to 195 million over the weekend, deadline reports. According to the report, the J.J. Abrams directed Episode 9, touted as the final of the 9-episode Skywalker saga started with George Lucas's original blockbuster in 1977, will earn an estimated 90 million on Friday when counting the 40 million Skywalker won in Thursday night previews. If Skywalker opens upwards of 195 million, it will hold the third biggest December opening of all time, behind only the Star Wars Force Awakens at 247 million and Abrams' own franchise relaunch released this time in 2015, and Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, 220 million, released during the holiday season in 2017. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Lucasfilm's first spin-off set outside the episodic saga, will be pushed down a spot to fourth place. Rogue One opened to 155 million in December 2016. Industry analysts projected Rise of Skywalker would open in the neighborhood of 175 to 200 million, while Studio Disney predicted a 160 million domestic opening. Now, here's the thing about that. They're keeping it low. They probably had a better idea where it would open, but they keep the numbers low. That way, no matter what, they break expectations. It looks better to shareholders when you do it like that. But I'm just saying. So what's the takeaway here? Now, the one thing that I wanted to point out is that ever since Force Awakens, there's been a downward trend with Star Wars opening weekends. That's the big takeaway here. Now, it's not much. They're still making a lot of money. And yes, it's still going to be the third biggest opening weekend. But guess what? What's it going to be like when they do the next Star Wars that has nothing to do with the Skywalker saga? That's going to be the real big thing that I want to see. Because you would think eventually one of these movies would have cracked the top. This movie tried its best to grab nostalgia just like Force Awakens did, and it's not pushing those numbers. So it's just funny to me. What's going to be the outcome for these movies once they lose the Skywalker name? And that's what they're going to do. The next one, who knows if that's even going to take place in the same galaxy, because you got to remember Rian Johnson's pitch, the whole reason that got him a trilogy in the first place. We'll see if he's still going to get that trilogy. But remember, his pitch was Star Wars in a different galaxy. That was it. Boom, got the job. I mean, what's even the point of that? Then you just literally have a sci-fi movie with the name Star Wars on it. It really doesn't make much sense. Now, this movie has the benefit, like the other ones had, with the holiday opening stuff. They have Christmas, kids aren't in school, more time to go to the movie theaters. It's really like a long weekend. But I'll be watching this closely because I'm really interested in this. Because what does this movie have in common with the other disaster, Last Jedi? Ever since Force Awakens, it's been nothing but a slope downhill for these movies. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the next one. Now, Disney has a chance to fix a lot of this stuff thanks to Disney+. The Mandalorian, in my opinion, is a massive success. I really like that show. And I think Obi-Wan will probably be really good. And if they keep pumping out really good Star Wars TV, and they do go on a little bit of a hiatus between movies, I think they can fix a lot of the problems. They need to get better directors and writers, obviously, in there. And they need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. I think if you put somebody like Dave Filoni in charge of Lucasfilm, somebody that really understands Star Wars, you could probably rebound this. But we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in Disney after watching how they've handled this. It's been a huge mess, but we'll see. Time will tell. Either way, watching how much money this movie makes is going to be interesting. Will it lose money like Solo did? That's the question that I want answered. That's pretty much it. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about the download slope that the Disney movies have been on? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Remember to throw a like up. Comments and likes are known as engagement points on YouTube. They help a lot. Please consider interacting with the video. Let's get that comment section fired up with rigorous debate. Anyway, make sure you still subscribe. By the way, YouTube's doing its purge thing. Also, subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And as always, I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.